Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shry Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shry Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.
Walk-off home run. Getting underway. This is it. They have to score here. Here's a shot to the right
side. Game 3 of the day, and we are in the winner's bracket. Number 4 seeded Johnson and number 7 seeded Brenau. Here are the stipulations of this game. The winner advances to the championship tomorrow. The loser will play at 11 o'clock tomorrow, early in the morning. Now, who will they play? They will play the winner of Tennessee Wesleyan and Reinhardt. So, won't look too far ahead, but what have we seen so far with Johnson and Brenau?
Well, you know, Deshaun, when you take a look at it, these are the only two teams in this tournament still left without the loss. So, just two fantastic softball teams. Wrong sport, but these two teams are two of the best in this conference, and their performance during the conference tournament just shows that.
And Lindy Weber, first pitch is a strike. Look at her numbers. I mean, what she did yesterday in that win against Reinhardt. That game went to 9 last night. 16-4 in the season. Struck out 11 batters. Gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. Walked only 3 batters. How she controlled in the circle was just phenomenal.
It really was. To slow down Reinhardt's team especially the way they hit the ball this morning, to only allow 3 runs is huge.
And that's a great catch in the outfield, as that is the left fielder, Burns. For the fans that is watching.
He has a nice catch from Burns, sliding catch in left field to retire Power.
So Johnson, they'll be wearing the gray with the little bit of royal blue, and then the lighter gray from Brenau with the yellow and the white outline on the jersey numbers. Now Ava Moon up to bat, as she will pop that right into center field. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a great start for Weber. You retire Power and Moon. Now you got to deal with Whitney Halsey. All 3 of those young ladies first team all conference here in the AAC. Congratulations to them. Fantastic softball players, but a great job by Weber thus far in the circle.
Agreed. And then now we have a quick 3 up, 3 down. Johnson now will have an opportunity to go ahead and just get their offense going, making quick work in his inning. We'll take a quick break going into the bottom of the first here with Southeast Sports Network.
Come on.
Bottom of the first inning action, you will have Emily Hall, who will be starting in the circle today. Emily Hall last night moved to 14-5 on the season, complete game, gave up 8 hits, struck out 2 batters. And then you look at the game against – you look at the other game she was in. She moved into 15-5, struck out 2 batters. So she's pitched 2 complete games so far in this tournament. Now looking to try to go for a third.
Yeah, I've done a very good job in this tournament, Deshaun, and the left-hand pitcher, a lot of movement. Curveball works in on the hands of right-handed hitters from Emily Hall, and hats off to her for a great performance thus far in this tournament.
Baldridge. Yesterday she went 1 for 6, had 1 run scored. One of the only batters yesterday that actually had 6 at-bats.
Yeah, Baldridge had a single deep in the 9th inning, or early in the 9th inning. For Johnson, just a fantastic hitter on the season. Sloan Baldridge with a lot of speed. Certainly taking advantage of that if she can work her way on first base.
As now, that is going to be hit right into the infield. Corrals that first out. It's a great way for Charlotte Smith to get that thrown out to Hawkins.
A nice play by Hawkins over at first. Rain that one in to retire Baldridge for out number 1.
First pitch called strike, 0-1 count. So 1 count, 1 out on the board. Takes the next pitch. Low and outside, that will be called for a ball, 1-1 count. Now after last game, with a little bit of rain, sun starting to gaze over the field.
Yeah, field looks good, like it's just been watered.
That is going to be great, perfectly placed bunt, but that is going to be thrown out at first. Great work for the infield to field that bunt, throw it out at first.
Yeah, nice bunt placement by Morehouse, and thought she'd leg that one out at first. Caught out on a bang-bang play.
Johnson's coach wanted to talk to the umpire to see if, just to confirm that that is out at first.
It appeared that her foot may have been off the base. They're going to talk about it. And they're going to say she is out. So 2 up, 2 down for Johnson here in the bottom of the first inning. Going to bring Madison Thacker Wolf to the plate for the Royals.
2 away on the board. Emily Hall takes that first pitch. That is going to be a little bit outside, called for a ball, 1-0 count. Thacker Wolf. She went 2 for 5 yesterday, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, it's a huge game for her last night and a good win for her team. Sent the number 1 seed Reinhardt to the losers bracket.
This now gives Johnson the perfect opportunity to await who their opponent could be tomorrow if they advance to the championship game.
Yeah, that's the advantage of whoever wins this game, they'll move on to tomorrow's championship round and just sort of get back, sit back, prop your feet up, and see who you play.
That is going to be popped right on top of the press box. Had an angle, looked like it was coming to the window again.
Yeah, I would have caught it. Save one of these computers scattered across the desk in front of us.
Oh, yeah. Sacrifice. They'll sacrifice a bunt. We'll sacrifice making sure we don't get a computer hurt.
Good at bat thus far from Thacker Wolf.
Yes, that is going to be popped right into the outfield. That is going to be 3 up, 3 down. So now we'll see.
No runs, no hits, no
We'll see a no run, no hit type of inning Brenau's offense is going to take the field for the top of the second. Lindy Weber will return to the circle. We will see if they can get that offense going here on Southeast Sports Network. Top of the second action, you have Allie McGee, who is going to be leading off for Brenau. Allie McGee in the game last night against Tennessee Wesleyan, she went 1 for 2. And then in the game against Bryan, she went 1 for 3.
Yeah, McGee batting in the 4-hole for Brenau. Watches that will miss outside for ball 1.
Last pitch was called a ball. That is going to be hitting the foul territory. 2-1 count.
Great pitch location from Weber, low and out. Fouled up and out of play by McGee.
Personally, I think Weber's been one of the best pitchers that I've seen in this AAC tournament. We've seen a lot of talented pitchers between her, Bailey Phillips from Tennessee Wesleyan, and Pettit from Reinhardt. Those three right there have been my 3 favorites, and then Isabella Davis being number 4 favorite from CIU.
Yeah, she's done a good job. All those ladies have in the circle, and a tough position to play as everyone from Johnson won that called third strike. But, you know, Deshaun, I agree. Weber, just great command of her pitches, great control, using different speeds and locations to keep hitters off balance.
That is going to go right into the right field. Great way to chase that. That is the right fielder, Morehouse. 1 away in this inning.
Yeah, she had to get on her horse to go get that one. A long run deep into right center field to essentially rob Allie McGee of a leadoff double here in the top of the second inning.
Now, Peyton Hawkins, first baseman, 2 for 3 last night, 3 RBI.
Yeah, Peyton Hawkins, another first-team all-conference performer for Brenau. Over 50 hits, 41 RBIs on the season. Came into this tournament batting .476, so a fantastic hitter for the Golden Tigers.
So now next pitch. That one a bit high in the zone. Got a 2-1 count. Low pitch.
I commented on it, Deshaun, earlier in the week. I just love her batting stance. She keeps her weight on her back foot, like a low crouch from the left side, and just uses her lower body very well when she hits a softball.
It's great analysis right there. And it shows just, I mean, multi-hit game last night. She's always ready to get some contact. As you see on that last one, goes into foul territory, but it's a great example right there.
She crowds the plate a little bit too, has her feet right on the inside part of that left-hand batter's box. And if you challenge her inside, she's a little bit open. She can turn on it, but if you throw it outside, she can barrel one up and take it opposite field.
And that is going to drive into the outfield, right into left. That will be another put out of the inning. 2 away.
Got that one to opposite field, just couldn't get it down for a hit. Another great pitch from Lindy Weber.
Now batting the designated player, number 5, Bree Brookshire.
Designated player Bree Brookshire. She was a designated player last night as well. Went 1 for 2. Had 1 RBI. Ball hitting the foul territory. 0-1 count.
You mentioned Weber in the circle for Johnson. She's a tough pitcher to beat. Great speed, great movement. Misses high with that one. Runs the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So 1-1 count. Brookshire with 2 outs on the board. Looking to try to get on. Get some contact with that last pitch. 1-2 count.
Yeah, good at bat from Brookshire thus far. Seeing some pitches, and that's what you want to do against a pitcher like Lindy Weber. You don't want to hit, the pitches that she's trying to miss with. She's going to make you try to chase pitches out of the zone. Work, get the count in your favor, pick something out and drive it.
It's Weber. Next pitch. Great battle at the plate so far.
Yeah, that one just a little bit outside, but Brookshire fouls it off.
So now Weber will take this next pitch. This time, that gets contact. That will drop. First hit of the day for Brenau. Brookshire makes her way to first. 2-out single.
Yeah, Brookshire just muscled that one into left field. You see a lot of pop outs, a lot of fly ball outs by Weber. And that time, Brookshire didn't really get underneath it. It was hitting the ground before outfielders could get there. So great piece of hitting. 2-out single for Bree Brookshire.
Low pitch called for a ball. 1-0 count. That's Allie Busby. If you remember her last night, she broke the game open. 1 for 4, but that one hit was that home run.
Yeah, it came at the perfect time for Brenau and had a big inning, batted around against Reinhardt. And that ultimately, that inning, Deshaun, was the deciding inning.
Absolutely. Next pitch was called for a ball. 3-0 count. Busby with the advantage, trying to figure it out. Would love to advance a runner over, potentially try to drive a run in.
Yeah, 2 outs on the board. Sort of takes the sacrifice out of play. Defense for Johnson playing back at a more normal, neutral position. Busby does have a lot of speed. Anything on the infield, she's going to try to leg it out.
Lindy Weber. Right down the middle, a lot of speed. 3-2 count.
A great pitch, slightly elevated in the zone. Busby couldn't catch up to that one.
So at the full count, takes the next pitch. She will strike out the first batter of the game, and that ends the inning. So leaving a runner stranded, Johnson is able to keep it scoreless. We will take a quick break here on Southeast Sports Network as they will have a chance at bat. Bottom of the second action, Emily Hall returns to the circle. 1 inning of work, 14 total pitches. Megan Armstrong will lead off for the Royals. Megan Armstrong went 3 for 5 yesterday. One run scored.
Getting her first hit today. Wasting little time doing it. Took the first pitch offering from Emily Hall. Knocks it out in the shallow center field. The leadoff single here for Johnson in the bottom of the second inning.
And that now gets Autumn Kaywood up to bat. Autumn Kaywood, another impactful player yesterday. 3 for 4, 2-run score, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, and all of her hits, Deshawn, came in the 6th inning or later.
And she's just that impactful. It's one of those players you just knew once she comes to the plate, you're going to have to be on your A game.
Yeah, and it seems like, every time she got up to bat, it was, like you said, one of those pressure-packed situations. Her team needing a hit, and she delivered.
Going for that bunt that did go into foul territory. So 1-1 count. Now seeing the skies really clear over the field.
Yeah, a little sunshine. Only use of an umbrella to provide a little shade.
Next pitch is called a strike. 1-2 count. Emily Hall looking to retire this batter. Kaywood looking to battle.
Yeah, Kaywood not able to get a bunt down to move Armstrong to second. She'll be swinging away here.
Wild pitch on the outside. That will advance Armstrong to second.
The result's still the same, yet Johnson didn't have to give up an out to do it. So the wild pitch moves Armstrong into scoring position at second base. Kaywood still 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now a single from Kaywood likely to score Megan Armstrong.
2-2 count. Inside pitch. She will be struck out. First strikeout for Emily Hall. 1 away on the board.
Yeah, pretty changeup right on the inside corner. Buckled her knees. Kaywood couldn't pull the trigger. Watches it across the plate for strike 3. First out here in the second inning.
First pitch call for a ball. Allie Dickerson up to the plate. Had an RBI yesterday against Ron Hart. Takes the pitch. That is going to be hit right to short. Armstrong stays put at second. Grounded by Charlotte Smith. She throws it out.
Yeah, nice 6-3 put out to retire Dickerson.
Now batting the left fielder, number 22, Reese Burns.
And a great stretch over at first base by Peyton Hawkins. Now 2 outs for Johnson, a runner at second. Reese Burns at the plate.
Burns with that hit going right into the outfield. Riley Smith able to corral that third out. So if that leaves the score at 0. So we will find out what will happen going into the next inning here on Southeast Sports Network. Top of the third inning action. Riley Smith will be leading off. Right fielder went 1 for 3 last night. Gets her first at bat. Lindy Weber returns to the circle. 2 innings of work. 1 batter struck out. 31 total pitches. That first pitch is a bunt attempt that is hitting the foul territory. 0-1 count.
Yeah, Smith trying to bunt her way on, trying to catch this Johnson defense off guard. Riley Smith, the right fielder tonight, batting in the number 8 spot for the Golden Tigers. It'll be 8-9-1 due up in this inning.
As that is going to be popped in the foul territory, that will be the first out. Megan Armstrong did corral that. One out on the board. Now Charlotte Smith makes her way to the plate.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Charlotte Smith.
Charlotte Smith went 0 for 1 last night. Got a lot of putouts in that outfield, or in that infield. A lot of ground outs. Popped up in her territory.
Yeah, she's got a great glove and just a phenomenal player for Brenau. And, she's, batting in this number 9 spot. She's like an extra leadoff hitter. A lot of speed, has the ability to get on base, flip the lineup back to the top to bring Dayton Power, Ava Moon back to the plate. Power in the on-deck circle now with 1 out. Here in the top of the 3rd inning.
That pitched on an outside 2-1 count. Weber. She'll look to take this next pitch. Hitting the foul territory. Umpire ducks out the way.
You got to be careful of those coming back off the backstop.
Sometimes they can come sneak up on you and get you.
You got the face mask on, nothing. No form of protection on the back of the dome.
And with that great outside pitch, that will sit Charlotte Smith down, 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, great location.
Center fielder, number 3.
On the outside corner, Smith, the slap hitter. Couldn't reach it, didn't offer at it. Results the same, goes down looking for out number 2.
Outside pitch. Called for a ball, Dayton Power. She would now get her 2nd at bat, or went 0 for 1 so far today. Flied out to left field.
Yeah, Power in this leadoff hitter, 1st team again, all conference, 442 on the year. Great speed is an understatement.
Now takes this pitch.
Fouled it off. Little check swing from Power. Made contact with the ball, so 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Dayton Power.
Looking to try to sit another batter down.
And
Right down the
does.
middle. Lindy Weber so confident in her pitches. She already knew.
No runs, no hits, no errors. None
Yeah,
left
she
on
was
base.
walking off the field.
Top of the 3rd inning.
Knew that was a strike. And
3 up, 3 down. So now we go into the bottom of the 3rd. Johnson with the chance as Hampton will be leading off. We will see what will happen. Can Johnson's offense get going, try to string in along some runs, and get some more hits? We'll find out on Southeast Sports Network.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Ella Hampton now will be leading off. Bottom of the 3rd, Emily Hall returns to the circle. 2 innings of work, 1 batter struck out, 23 total pitches. Hampton, that gets hit in foul territory, but she absolutely smoked that.
yeah, that was a blast down the left field line, but foul. Give the left fielder for Brenau, Allie Busby, a lot of credit. Running over, tried to make the diving catch. Ball hit the ground, so a long strike for Ella Hampton.
It's an 0-1 count, Emily Hall. She'll look to take this next pitch. A little bit low on the inside. That will be called for a ball. 1-1 count.
Great eye by Hampton. Second team all-conference performer for Johnson. That fouls off down the right field line. She has the ability, showing the ability to spray the ball to all parts of the field. Characteristic of great hitters right there. Elite level back control from Hampton.
Now 1-2 count. Hall will look to take this next pitch. 2-2 count. Call the ball.
Yeah, that one just missed off the outside corner. Great job by Allie McGee, the catcher for Brenau, trying to frame that one up. Give her pitcher Emily Hall the strikeout.
Is now she'll get contact on that. That will go into the right field. Riley Smith corrals that first out of this inning.
Smith had her plate perfectly out in right field. Just to drop her little drop step. Took maybe 3-4 steps to reel that one in for the first out here in the bottom of the third inning. In a scoreless game, 0-0 on the board.
Madison Hood up to the plate. Went 1 for 5 yesterday. Both teams sitting at 1 hit. First pitch was called a ball. Hall looking to take this next pitch. As that is going to be roped into center field. And that will be caught by Dayton Power.
Yeah, Power, I thought she was going to have a hard time getting a read on that. She turned her shoulders 2-3 times, but when you've got the speed that she has out there in center field, what would have been a mistake for a lot of center fielders, she could have caught that one in her shirt pocket.
First pitch a bit high. Called for a ball. 1-0 count. Baldrich's second go-round. 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded for a 6-3 put-out her last at-bat. Gets contact on that. That will go into foul territory.
Start to see the second time for the lineup for Johnson to see Emily Hall. One hit the first time through for the Royals. See if they can add to that total the second time they see the pitcher, Emily Hall.
2-1 count. Hall takes this pitch. That one a bit outside of that zone. 3-1 count. Baldrich now with the advantage.
Yeah, big advantage. Hitters count, though. If she likes it, she'll be standing on it.
And with that, Baldrich will make her way to first from the walk. First walk of the day in the circle for Emily Hall.
Yeah, that was just a great at-bat from Baldrich. Just being able to recognize pitches early, be patient, earn the 2-out walk here in the bottom of the third inning.
And that single right up the middle. So now Baldrich makes her way to second. Morehouse makes her way to first. 2-out single.
Yeah, that was a hard hit ball right up the middle. Looked like it ricocheted off the glove of Hall. Allows both runners to be safe. Now we'll have a mound visit before Madison Thacker Wolf steps into the box for Johnson. Been real important in a situation for Emily Hall. You know, she started the inning off facing Ella Hampton, got her to fly out to right field. Then Madison Hood flew out to center. So 2 outs on the board, then gives up a 2-out walk and a 2-out single. But the advantage for Hall and Brenau is the fact she does have 2 outs. So any out on this play will get the Golden Tigers out of this inning and end the threat for Johnson University.
Now batting for Johnson, the second baseman, number 7. Madison.
So 2 runners on. Baldrich on second, Morehouse on first.
Foul ball down the first base line. Just foul. Runners will return, and Madison Thacker Wolf back in the box to have another hack at it. Fouls this one off down the third baseline.
So getting good contact on it.
Yeah, she's up there to swing the bat. She's very, very aggressive hitter is Madison Thacker Wolf.
Another hit up the middle. So now, Barwich making her way round at third. That is going to be the first run scored for Johnson.
Madison Thacker Wolf delivers. She fouled the two previous pitches off, one down the first baseline, one down the third baseline. Very next pitch, she hammers into center field for that RBI single. Puts the Royals on the board first, 1-0 here in the bottom of the third.
Takes the pitch, hitting the foul territory. Armstrong, last at bat.
She singled for the first hit of the game.
Right into center field. Right as I was looking down to start mentioning some of her last stats, I look up, she's already getting the hit.
She's like Thacker Wolf. She's not up there to take many pitches.
No.
Armstrong batting in the cleanup spot. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. And a hit here for Armstrong would be huge for her and her teammates. Already one on the board, looking to add to it.
So Hall looking to take this next pitch. Armstrong, second hit of the day. Runner around in third. Second run scored for Johnson. Thacker Wolf is now on second.
That was just a great piece of hitting by Megan Armstrong. Hit it hard between the 3-4 hole, out into right field. And the runner on second moving on contact. There's already 2 outs. The ball was hit. Their goal is set on one thing, coming home, and 2 runs here in the bottom of the third for Johnson. That may bring on a pitching change, Deshaun.
And that's for this is the first time we might see that for Brenau, where they are in the bind in the circle. Emily Hall has completed both games she's been in this tournament. So now we will see a new pitcher for the first time for Brenau. This is a different type of situation in this game. It is not like your season is on the line, but you will still have another opportunity to play. But if you're a Brenau, you want to play in the championship. So now we do have a new pitcher for Brenau. That will be number 17, Natalie Schubert.
And I think maybe the thought process behind that is the outcome of this game. It'll be what it is. If Johnson does win this game, Brenau will live to fight on. But in the next game that Brenau plays, Emily Hall may get a little rest. Either way, whether it's a victory or a loss. But Natalie Schubert coming on, and she's a great pitcher in her own right. So trying to get Brenau out of this jam here in the bottom of the third inning.
Now pitching for Brenau, number 17, Natalie Schubert.
So for Johnson, they're looking to get that offense going now. 4 hits, 2 runs scored. It is starting to pick up for them. And you see what happened. They can start off slow, but once they pick it up, it is a different feel for Johnson.
Oh, they can absolutely hit the softball, and every hit in this inning. They have 1 hit coming into this inning, but every hit, every run in this inning resulted after they already had 2 outs. So 2-out hitting at its finest for Johnson University.
Schubert will take this pitch at a bit inside, misses the zone. She's made 13 appearances on the season. She is 2-2 in the circle, 6 games started, 5.49 ERA.
First batter she will face is Autumn Kaywood.
Kaywood getting some contact. That goes into foul territory.
Bring up a 1-1 count. Once again, runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Johnson with 2 runs across the board here in this half inning.
Got a lot of contact on that. Almost hit somebody.
That was Jay Stansel, I do believe.
All right, Jay. Head on a swivel now. We need you.
Showing great reflexes out there taking some photos of this game.
And Jay Stansel didn't even flinch. Look at him just still standing there.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Kaywood.
Get some contact on that. That will be thrown out for the final out of this inning. Johnson adds 2 runs. We now go into the top of the 4th. We will see if Brenau can get that offense going, match the intensity, or if Johnson can continue to slow these batters down here on Southeast Sports Network. Top of the 4th action, Ava Moon will be leading off. Ava Moon 0 for 1 on the day so far. She did pop up to center field at her last at-bat. Lindy Weber returns to the circle. 3 innings of work, 3 batters struck out, 42 total pitches. First pitch was called a ball.
Yeah, this is an important batter for Lindy Weber here in the top of the 4th inning. Ava Moon, a fantastic hitter for Brenau. Great speed. If you can keep her off the bases, that is a huge plus for Johnson.
Last pitch called a ball.
Two balls, 1 strike to Moon.
And now that makes it a 3-1 count, so Moon.
Yeah, ran that one in on her hands, did Weber. Moon didn't offer at it, so now 3-1 count, huge advantage to Ava Moon in this battle.
Lead-off walk, Ava Moon makes her way to first. Now Halsey up to bat.
Now batting third baseman number 22, Whitney Halsey.
Moon over at first. We've seen her have the green light all week long. 36 stolen bases on the regular season. She's added to that total this week.
And you know she's going to be having a mindset to try to steal.
Yeah, she's so aggressive on the base pass.
First pitch called a strike.
And that's huge because you don't have to use Halsey in this situation to, well, they did, sacrificed her over. So Halsey retired at first, Moon safe to second.
Sack bunt, first out of the inning. That does move Ava Moon over.
And I think in that situation, if there have been either 1 or 2 outs, you would have seen Moon get the straight steal sign. But with no outs, Halsey sacrifices herself, puts Moon at second, and now she is definitely in scoring position.
That pitch is called for a strike. 0-1 count. Lindy Weber continuing her work in a circle. Allie McGee so far 0 for 1 on the day. She flew out to right field at her last at bat. Get some contact on that last pitch. 0-2 count.
Yeah, Weber way ahead in this count. And against a good hitter like McGee, once again the cleanup hitter for Brenau, I expect to see Weber not give her a whole lot to hit on these next couple of pitches. Threw that one high in the zone, tried to get her to chase it. Good discipline by McGee.
Outside pitch. That one called for a ball as well.
So now Weber going to have to start dealing a little closer to that strike zone.
2-2 count. Moon is on second. One out on the board. Weber looking to find a way in that strike zone. Get some contact on that last pitch is McGee.
Yeah, that pitch was elevated in the zone. McGee couldn't catch up to it. Fouls it off. Count's going to stay the same at 2-2.
Now Weber takes the pitch. That one hit right on the infield. Great way to ground that is Hood. 6-3 put out. 2 outs on the board.
That was a tough play by Hood at short. That ball was hit hard.
The first baseman, number 2.
Caught it after 2 hops. Throws it across to retire McGee for out number 2. That'll bring Peyton Hawkins to the plate.
It reminds me of those drills I used to see when I would go to softball practices and you see coaches with the tennis rackets, and they'll hit into the infield hitting as hard as they can to make sure that they ground those balls.
Yeah, you have to get used. That's hard to replicate in practice. Just the velocity that's on that ball when it comes off the bat. And Hood out there at short for Johnson made it look easy. And one drill that I've seen a lot of coaches do is to get used to watching the ball into the glove. Is they'll have them count the number of bounces. So one that's going to bounce to you, 3 or 4 times is a little bit easier to field than one that's going to be bouncing once or twice. So, to just watch the ball hit the ground, into the glove, make the throw, it becomes almost, second nature to these elite infielders, and that's what we've seen from multiple teams in this tournament. Certainly evident on that last play by the shortstop for Johnson University, Madison Hood.
So now Hawkins makes her way to first, hit by pitch.
Bree Brookshire to the plate, singled in her last at-bat back in the second inning.
So that last pitch was hitting the foul territory. 0-2 count. Weber ahead in the count. 2 outs on the board. 2 runners on.
Yeah, these runners will be moving on contact, trying to score on a Brookshire hit.
Moon still on second. Hawkins on first.
And when Moon gets her lead off second, she is standing almost directly in front of the shortstop, about halfway to third base.
She's ready to go. That's hitting the foul territory. Keeps it at a 1-2 count. Weber looking to take this next pitch.
This is high. Right idea by Weber. Once again, trying to get Brookshire to chase.
Is that great way to block that? Can she get it off at first? She will block the runner off at home. That is a great play to stop a run and get the third out. Ava Moon was making her way home.
Yeah, just a fantastic play. Moon gunned down at the plate. You don't see that happen often. I like her aggressiveness on the base pass, but just a great play by Johnson. The ball was absolutely smashed to first. Armstrong deflected it. Thacker Wolf picks it up, throws it home to retire the side, and Ava Moon prevents a run from scoring.
This is Johnson University at their best. You're going to have to earn those runs against them. And instead of trying to get the runner out at first, See Ava Moon charging her way home. Don't want to give up the run. And gets to throw out at home.
Well, that's a play, even though she was called out. Let's just put that aside for just a moment. There was a very, very close play. There's only a couple players in this league that can make that play that close, and one of them is Ava Moon, and you can't fault her or anyone for sending her home on that, because it was a bang-bang play and a great play by Johnson to retire her for out number 3 and in the inning.
And so we will take us a quick break as we go into the bottom of the inning here on Southeast Sports Network. We will see what will happen for Johnson on the offensive end here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Bottom of the 4th action, Natalie Schubert. She will get her first full inning of work. Allie Dickerson will be leading off this inning. Johnson leads, has a 2-run lead so far. Looking to try to build that even more. Right now they are at 4 hits, Brenau at 2 hits. First pitch called a ball, bit high in that zone.
Been a great game so far. Seen just a little bit of everything. One thing we have seen is great pitching.
Schubert takes that next pitch. That is called a strike.
Yeah, pretty change up from Schubert. Freezes Dickerson, not able to pull the trigger.
She'll take the next pitch. Dickerson gets contact on it. That goes into foul territory. 1-2 count.
Here in the bottom of the 4th for Johnson. Looking for a repeat performance of that 3rd inning where they put 2 runs on the board.
And that's a great way to get contact on that pitch, keeping her alive at the plate. 1-2 count. So now Dickerson with their second at bat. Schubert takes this next pitch. Gets great contact on that. That is going to fly into the infield. Right at Charlotte Smith. First out of the inning.
1 up, 1 down for the Royals here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Left fielder number 22.
It'll bring Reese Burns to the plate. Flew out to right field in the 2nd inning to end the 2nd inning.
First pitch called strike right down the middle. So 0-1 count. Reese Burns, last at bat, she flew out to right field. That pitch bit high in the zone. 1-1 count.
There's another good pitch from Schubert. With the foul ball for strike 1 and comes back with something out of the zone.
Should now go and take this next pitch. That one a bit high and inside. called for a ball, 2-1 count.
Reese Burns, the starting left fielder for Johnson.
So now Schubert takes this next pitch, outside pitch. That will be called for a ball, 3-1 count. Schubert looking to try to get another pitch in that strike zone. Burns staying patient at the plate.
Yeah, great discipline. Now she's ahead in the count is Burns. Schubert doesn't want to walk her, so we can expect something to be close here.
As Burns pops that right into the outfield, and that will be crowd for the second out. That is Busby.
Great communication out there between Busby and Charlotte Smith. Charlotte Smith, the shortstop, was having to move back to try to catch that fly ball. Charlotte Smith, Busby, the left fielder, coming on to make the catch. Great communication for out number 2.
First pitch, bit high, call for a ball, 1-0 count. Hampton, second at bat, 0 for 1 on the day. Flew out the right field at her last go. So now Schubert, she'll take the next pitch. Hit right into foul territory. 1-1 count.
Good start to the bottom of the 4th inning for Schubert. Retires Dickerson, retires Burns, now dealing with Hampton. 2 outs already on the board for Brenau here in the bottom of the 4th.
Winner of this game does advance to the 1 o'clock game tomorrow. As Hampton gets a great hit. 2-out single into left center. She makes her way to first.
Allie Busby out in left field had to sprint to that one. Took a good angle to cut it off so it doesn't go to the fence. Holds Hampton to a long single. But a runner on first for Johnson.
First pitch call for a ball, 1-0 count. Madison Hood 0 for 1 on the day. Flew out to center field. Johnson's sitting at 5 hits right now.
Johnson, very, very solid team. Come into this tournament, finished 4th in the regular season in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, and just a very, very talented softball team. Great pitching, great hitting, and once again, we've seen that here this week in Kingsport.
And Johnson right now, they've just shown they're on a mission. I mean, been receiving votes in the top 25 and coming into this tournament, had a lot of challenges they had to face. And last night was the biggest challenge of all, which was having to go against the number 1 seed, being down, then being tied, and then making a late rally, and then adding those 6 runs.
Well, you're right, Deshaun. They could have, folded, and they didn't. They responded time and time again, and a great win last night for this team and this program for Johnson University.
So these 2 teams on the field right now, Brenau and Johnson, are the lone unbeaten teams in this tournament. As Hood hits that in the foul territory.
Yeah, they're not necessarily the last 2 standing, but they're the last 2 standing that's not taking an L this week, and one of them will take a loss after this game. But just a fantastic performance by both these teams all week long.
And the advantage is that one gets to go into the championship game just because of how they've played, and then the other one will have to play in the morning, and they will play the winner of Game 16 today. Which that turns into an elimination game in the morning.
Yes, it does.
So we're trickling down.
Yeah, it's been – but when you started at 10, went to 8, down to 6. And
2 more eliminated today.
Two more eliminated today, so.
as Johnson is now after Reinhardt, they are technically the second highest seed in this tournament at number 4. Number 2 seeded Bryan eliminated last game. Number 3 seeded Truett McConnell eliminated.
What a great at bat by Madison Hood, making Schubert work out in the circle for Brenau. 2-2 count, runner on first, 2 outs. Johnson on top 2-0.
Schubert, she'll take this next pitch. That one a bit on the inside. That is pass ball. So with that, Hampton advances to second.
A little bit of high drama here because now full count to Hood. You do have a place to put her, but then you've got to deal with Sloan Baldridge due up next for Johnson. And the runner on second in scoring position if Hood can deliver.
This day's just been full of drama. A lot of different storylines just within today. And with that, Schubert escapes this inning, leaves a runner stranded. Now Brenau has a chance to go into the next inning, try to get their offense going, and see if they can match the intensity that Johnson has brought. Right now, you look at the hit totals. Johnson 5 hits, Brenau 2 hits. Hasn't really got that offense going just yet. Can they drive some runs in, or can Lindy Weber keep holding these hitters down? We will find out here going into the top of the 5th on Southeast Sports Network.
Johnson leads Brenau 2-0.
Top of the 5th action, we come in, and we will see Allie Busby lead off. Weber, she returns to the circle. 4 innings of work, 3 batters struck out, 1 batter walked, 62 total pitches. First pitch called a ball.
Yeah, Lindy Weber tossing the gym thus far in the circle for Johnson.
Next pitch called a strike.
Number 7 hitter Busby up now. Riley Smith on deck. Charlotte Smith in the hole for Brenau. Here in the top of the 5th inning.
Loser of this game plays at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Winner of this game, 1 p.m. championship game. Next game we have at 5 p.m. Jeff, I'll do a quick preview. We have number 1 seeded Reinhardt and a number 6 seeded Tennessee Westland next game.
Yeah, that's one that, you know, we didn't know for sure who would be playing in that game, but once that's been decided, it was sort of a game we've been looking forward to.
Absolutely. If you look at Tennessee Westland, I mean, took down a number 2 seed as Allie Busby makes her way to first off the walk. Just looking at that game and just seeing how everything went, Tennessee Westland, the way they came in, you can tell they were not ready to get out of this tournament.
No, they played very well, and like so many teams in this conference, very talented, hard to beat them, and just to hang on and to get the win and keep advancing. There's something to be said about the grit and determination of these teams.
And we have a pinch runner on first, which is going to be number 23, Christina Peach.
Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Riley Smith.
as that is going to be popped right at the second. Great concentration by Thacker Wolf, first out of the inning.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Deshaun. Great call, great concentration. That one, like, it wasn't hit really hard. It almost like it was just floating out there to second base. Thacker Wolf hauls it in to retire Smith. Riley Smith brings up Charlotte Smith to the plate now for Brenau.
That's crazy.
First pitch was called a ball, 1-0 count. Charlotte Smith is up to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day, struck out at her last at-bat. She was caught looking. Check swing this time. She will hold it. Ball 2.
That last out for Johnson was a huge out. Give up the leadoff walk to Busby, and you dispose of Riley Smith on the line out. So now 1 out facing the number 9 hitter, Charlotte Smith. Dayton Power, the leadoff hitter, due up next.
So now Lindy Weber. Defense coming in to talk for a little bit. 1 out on the board, 2-0 count. Peach is on first.
This is outside for a ball.
3-0 count. And that is called for a strike. So now we have a 3-1 count. Weber looking to get back ahead in the count.
Yeah, Charlotte Smith laying off that one, even though I think she thought it would probably be a strike. Now back-to-back strikes from Weber. Runs the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch upcoming.
That is going to crowd that left field line. It's going to be hit number 3 for Brenau. Charlotte Smith now with her first hit.
Yeah, just a little blooper, if you will, over the third baseman's head. Hit in the dirt right before the grass.
Dayton Power.
Barely fair, but fair nonetheless. And a big hit for Smith. Now runners on first and second with only 1 out. Top of the order due for Brenau.
Great opportunity for Brenau.
Yeah, you've got Dayton Power batting, Ava Moon on deck, and 2 first-team all-conference performers due up next for the Golden Tigers.
Next pitch, that is going to be called for a strike. Great way to get that one down the middle.
Yeah, defense in the infield has to be on their toes for Johnson. Power can do a lot of different things.
Gets contact on that next pitch. That is going to go into foul territory. 1-2 count. You can feel business picking up in Brickyard Park right now. Top of the 5th.
It's definitely picking up. It's a great opportunity, arguably the best opportunity of the day for Brenau. 2 on, only 1 out.
That last pitch was called for a ball low and outside. But yeah, Jeff, absolutely. Look at this game. Loser plays in the morning, winner plays in the championship. Next game is an elimination game. And now she'll get a runner out.
The ground out to short, thrown over to first to retire Dayton Power.
So Peach as the lead runner. She made it to third safely.
The second baseman, number 1, Ava Moon.
2 outs now in the inning. Ava Moon coming to bat for Brenau.
2 runners in scoring position. Can Lindy Weber get out of this inning? First pitch called strike. We will see.
Yeah, a lot of speed on the bases for Brenau. Ava Moon at the plate. A hit will score 2.
Oh, goes out of the glove. She'll still throw it to first. That is a 1-3 put out. Escapes the inning. Not giving up an out. You talk about a great play.
A Lindy Weber with a web gem, a hard line drive up the middle from Ava Moon. Knocks the glove off of Lindy Weber, and she has the whereabouts to find the ball, pick it up, and throw to first to put out Ava Moon, who was hustling down the line. What a play, Lindy Weber.
We will come back as we go to the bottom of the fifth, and we will see Sloan Baldridge, who will be leading off for the Royals. We'll take a quick break here with Southeast Sports Network in Kingsport, Tennessee. Bottom of the fifth action, Sloan Baldridge will be leading off. First at bat was a 6-3 put out. Last at bat, she walked to first. First pitch, low outside. That will be called for a ball. 1-0 count. Natalie Schubert returns to the circle. 1.5 innings pitched. One batter struck out. 26 total pitches.
Yeah, Schubert doing a fine job in relief. Comes in at a pretty tough spot. Made the most of her opportunity here today. Johnson put up 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. Been scoreless ever since, now in the top of the 5th.
One count. Schubert, she'll look to take this next pitch.
Excuse me, bottom of the 5th inning.
She'll take this pitch. That is going to be called for a strike.
Another high-quality pitch from Schubert. 2-2 count. Now to Baldridge.
Gets contact. That will go into foul territory. And caught by a fan in the crowd.
It'd be an out if it was banana ball, but
last pitch was called a ball. We have a full count.
yeah, the Brenau dugout hoping that was strike 3.
I mean, the ball's already yellow. Just like in banana ball.
Gets contact on that. That's going to carry to the outfield. Right in the center. Corralled for the first out. Power just stood right where she was at. Let it just fall into her glove.
Yeah, I don't think she moved. I literally hit that one right to her. We've seen Power make some great plays this week out in center field. That may be the easiest put out she's had all season.
Morehouse now to bat. First pitch called for a ball. 1-0 count. Last at bat was a single right up the middle.
Yeah, Morehouse having a solid week here for Johnson, another first-team all-conference performer.
That gets right into left field for another putout.
Schubert making quick work of Johnson thus far here in the bottom of the 5th.
Madison Thacker Wolf now to bat. 1 for 2, 1 RBI. Last at bat, she also singled up the middle. After the walk from Baldridge, that strung along 3 consecutive hits.
Yeah, that was back in that 3rd inning, and what a 3rd inning it was for Johnson.
Helped put him in the scoring column.
2 runs across for the Royals in that inning. The only runs of the game scored thus far.
Playing closely, different kind of game we've seen. We've seen a 32 combined hit type of game in the first game. We saw Tennessee Wesleyan slow down a high-powered offense with Bryan in game 2. Now we're seeing 2 teams who know there's a lot on the line trying to play each other as close as possible. As that last pitch was called a ball.
Yeah, and I think, coming into this game, the players involved know that every pitch, every at-bat is important. But as the innings start to tick away, they become ever so more important.
Next pitch, that will be a little bit on the inside, misses the zone, called for a ball. Now you have a 3-1 count.
Big pitch here to Thacker Wolf.
Swing and a miss. That will retire a batter. Actually, that brings it to a full count. She throws another pitch like that, that will retire a batter.
Right, that pitch was on the money.
I just don't really know what it is that fixes it.
This time, that will have her walked to first.
Great at-bat by Madison Thacker Wolf for Johnson University. Great vision, discipline at the plate, earns her a 2-out walk.
What I like about Madison Thacker Wolf is that she's so patient at the plate.
She's so patient. She's so consistent in the field, at the plate. Just the kind of player you want on your team.
First pitch called a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 count. Schubert takes this next pitch. That is going to be roped into the outfield. That is carrying. That is gone. 2-run bomb. Johnson moves ahead 4-0.
Touch them all. Megan Armstrong, what a day she's having. Single back in the second, RBI single in the third, and now a 2-run bomb to dead away, straightaway center field. Puts Johnson University up 4-0.
Megan Armstrong now 3 for 3 on the day. Johnson now with 6 hits, 4 runs scored.
That was just a well-struck softball right over the Visit Kingsport sign in straightaway center.
I was a little paranoid. I thought that was about to hit that outfield tent.
Put a bullseye on that tent. And Megan Armstrong was definitely going that way. Just a phenomenal, powerful home run with 2 outs. All 4 of Johnson University's runs in this game have come with 2 outs.
Autumn Kaywood now gets a hard hit into the infield. She is safe at first.
It was another hard hit ball. That's a statistic that, you can look at when you're looking at softball, baseball, the batting averages with 2 outs, the batting averages with runners in scoring position, teams that can deliver sort of when their back's against the wall, they're hard to beat. And Johnson University showing that today, just absolutely doing work when 2 outs are on the board. They lead this one 4-0, bottom of the 5th inning.
It's Johnson, 4 runs scored, 7 hits. Brenau, 3 hits, have not scored a run yet. Lindy Weber controlling everything right now in the circle.
Yeah, she's pitched a phenomenal game. And now, with the 2-run insurance home run from Megan Armstrong, makes it even a tougher hill to climb if you're Brenau.
And now Kaywood's going to make her way to second. She is safe.
That's just great base running from Autumn Kaywood. Probably not given the steal sign in that situation with 2 outs, with the ball in the dirt. And she is taking advantage of the bobble. Free 60 feet for Kaywood.
Dickerson gets some contact on it. She will make it to first safely. Kaywood makes it to third.
Yeah, they're going to – that ball was just a cue shot right off the bat. The catcher for Brenau coming out of her stance, Allie McGee, bobbled it, which allowed Dickerson to be safe at first. They tried to throw to third to pick off Kaywood. There was some obstruction that went on, so she was safe diving back to the base. So now for Johnson, runners on first and third and 2 outs.
So runners in the corner. 2 outs on the board. Reese Burns now up to bat. 8 hits on the day for Johnson. Schubert looking to try to get out of his inning.
Yeah, you got to stop the bleeding here, and all the damage being done with 2 outs.
And with that just brings Dickerson stealing second. So now 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and I love her taking second on the first pitch. Now you put another runner in scoring position. Burns at the plate. 2 outs, runners will be moving on contact, so a single from Burns likely will score 2. And Deshaun, all this started here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Baldridge was retired for out 1. Morehouse was retired for out 2. Walk Thacker Wolf, 2-run home run Megan Armstrong. Single for Kaywood and Dickerson.
Mm-hmm.
Now Burns looking to add another hit to the mix.
That will be swung on and missed for a strike. Brings it to a 1-2 count.
Burns took a cut at that one. Just couldn't catch up to it. 1-1 count to Reese Burns.
Reese Burns. That will drop into left field. Another runner, 2 runners scoring.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Both runners moving on contact. If she catches it, that's 3 outs, no threat of a double play. And so a single to left for Burns, plates 2 more, and the Royals now enjoy a 6-run lead.
Johnson with a 6-run lead. 9 hits, 2 outs on the board, and you have Burns on first. Burns might be one to steal on this. And she will make her way to second. Can she get caught stealing?
She did. Great throw by McGee. Guns down at Burns for out number 3.
And you can just tell just by the way she was in her stance. She was already determined to go take second. And
Yeah.
I think Brenau knew that was coming. After the last two base runners on first made their way to second.
Yeah, she was in a sprinter's stance, ready to come out of the blocks. And but a great throw retires her at second to end the bottom of the 5th for Johnson, but not before they put 4 runs on the board. And now enjoy a 6-run lead, 6-0, as we move to the top of the 6th inning.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Going into the top of the 6th inning, Whitney Halsey will be leading off. We'll see if Brenau's offense can keep going and get something strung along. Or will Lindy Weber continue what she's doing in the circle? We'll take a quick break with Southeast Sports Network. Top of the 6th action. Whitney Hosey leading off this inning. Weber takes that pitch that is hitting the foul territory. That first pitch was also called a ball, so we're at a 1-1 count.
Yeah, we'll see Whitney Halsey at the plate now. Allie McGee and Peyton Hawkins due up for Brenau in the top of the 6th inning.
Halsey ropes that in the center. That will be a leadoff single.
Nice piece of hitting right there from Halsey. Drives it right back up the middle into center field for a leadoff single for the Golden Tigers. That's her first hit of the day.
So Allie McGee up to bat, 0 for 2 on the day so far. Flew out the right field, 6-3 put out on her second at bat. First pitch is called a strike.
Yeah, good pitch from Weber. Look to see her throw a lot of first pitch strikes, try to work from ahead here in the 6th and 7th innings, trying to close this one out.
So that's also hitting the center. Great way to corral that on 1 foot. Baldridge.
Baldridge looks like she almost stumbled going back to get that one, and sort of a collective sigh of relief from the Johnson faithful here is when she caught it, because that could have been disastrous had she not.
Have a pinch hitter for Brenau. That is number 33, Paige Downing, senior out of Smith Station, Alabama. That is near the Auburn, Alabama area. As if so, it's like she'll be hitting in the place of Peyton Hawkins.
Pinch hitting for Brenau, number 33, Paige Downing.
So she will have her first at bat. Weber takes that pitch.
Certainly hope Hawkins is okay. She was hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. But now that was her last plate appearance, so Downing on in her spot.
She'll get contact on that. That's going to get on that right field line. That advances a runner over. So now Downing on first. Halsey on second.
A great piece of hitting by Downing. Took the pitch from Weber. Opposite field down the right field line. So 2 singles for Brenau here in the top of the 6th inning. Only 1 out.
So now Hawkins will re-enter at first.
Re-entering the game to run at first, number 2, Peyton Hawkins.
And looks like she's got a bandage on her arm, but
DP number 5.
out there to run the bases. Hawkins, such a good athlete, first team all-conference. Great performer for Brenau this season.
So Weber takes that pitch. That is going to be hit into center field. Baldridge with another put out this inning.
Made that one look a little more effortless. There's no stumble going into that one. Caught cleanly. Nice play by Baldridge patrolling center field.
Re-entering the game for Brenau, number 4, Allie Busby.
Now Allie Busby re-enters, and she will be at bat.
Busby walked back in the 5th. Christina Peach came on to run for her, so Busby re-entering back in the lineup. Trying to get a 2-out hit here for Brenau. See if they can push a run across. That pitch from Weber, high and away. 2 balls, no strikes to Allie Busby.
2-0 count. That pitch right down the middle for a strike. So if Hosey on second, Hawkins on first, she will swing on that.
Yeah, great pitch from Weber. Threw it out of the zone. Busby chased it. Couldn't catch up to it. Works the count even, 2-2. Threw that one the same spot. Busby not fooled this time.
This is the 6th inning, top 6.
Weber, she'll take this next pitch. Gets contact on that last one. Keeps it at a full count.
Staying alive is Busby.
And Lindy Weber just continued what she does. 4th strikeout of the day, ends the inning. So 2 runners left stranded. Brenau left scoreless. They did string along some hits. They're now at 5, but Johnson continuing to hold Brenau at 0. We will take a quick break on Southeast Sports Network in Kingsport, Tennessee.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire Tablet with just a few clicks.
Bottom of the 6th action at Brickyard Park in Kingsport, Tennessee. New pitcher in the circle for Brenau. That will be junior pitcher Maggie Furr. She is 1-1 on the circle, has 1 save, 15 appearances, and she has a 4.82 ERA.
She'll have to face Ella Hampton, Madison Hood, and Sloan Baldridge here in the home half of the 6th inning.
First pitch outside called for a ball. Hampton, 1 for 2 on the day. Last pitch called a strike. Flew out the right field and then had that single right into left center. It's now first. She'll take this pitch. Right up the middle. Hampton, hit number 2. Johnson moved to 10 hits on the day.
Great piece of hitting from Ella Hampton. Very patient with that one. Just had enough pace on it to push it by the diving shortstop, Charlotte Smith, into center field. So a leadoff single for Ella Hampton here in the bottom of the 6th inning puts a runner aboard for Johnson.
Now Madison Hood up the bat, 0 for 2 on the day.
What number? They're bad. I have no idea. That's like I saw William
As that is going to be sacrificed, moving her out. We'll see who's that.
Nice bunt. Nice bunt by Madison Hood. Sacrifices herself to move a runner over to second.
Sloan Baldridge. Running at second, number 21, Kaylee Dyke.
That first pitch is called for a ball, 1-0 count. As Hood was out at first, moving over for a sack bunt.
Bring Sloan Baldridge to the plate. Runner on second with one out.
So one out on the board, 1-0 count. Maggie Furr takes this pitch. That will be an outside ball.
A chance for Johnson to add to this run total to Sean. A runner on second, one out. Top of the lineup up for Johnson as Baldridge fouls that one away down the third base line.
So now Maggie Furr getting the signal from the dugout. She'll now look to take this pitch. Another outside pitch for a ball. Looking to try to crowd that outside corner, make the batter chase.
Yeah, she's likes that outside corner and her pitching mechanics. Her curveball is going to tend to go that way as Baldridge goes up the middle.
And so Dykes, she's going to make her way home. That is another run scored. RBI single. Baldridge off the throw. Errant throw makes her way to second.
Yeah, Baldridge with a single goes to second on the throwing error. Tried to hit the cutoff, missed it. It goes over to the backstop on the third base side, and Baldridge strolls on into second. So she trades places with Dyke, who is on second to run for Hampton. But another run across for Johnson here in the bottom of the sixth. Makes it 7-0 Royals.
Johnson right now with 11 hits. And there was an error added into that throwing error from center field. Helped Baldridge advance to second. So if Johnson is to take care of business and hold on, they will be playing at 1 o'clock in the championship game.
They are in a perfect position to do so.
Indeed. With one out on the board, Audrey Morehouse makes her way to the plate, 1 for 3. Until now, Furr looking to try to stop the bleeding. Got some contact on that. That will be in foul territory.
Yeah, trying to bunt her way on. Move Baldridge over to third. Morehouse a tough out.
Last pitch was a bit outside. Morehouse had that single up the middle, her last at bat. Furr, she'll take this next pitch. That one finds the zone, called for a strike.
Yeah, it was a much better pitch by Furr. Had Morehouse fooled, watches it drop in for a strike.
That is hitting the foul territory. Keeps it at a 2-2 count.
It just likes to flicker back and forth for no reason. Like it's not moving. And then it just goes, yep, see it.
So now Maggie Furr. She ready for this next pitch, 2-2 count. That is going to fly into left field. Baldridge will stay put at second.
That'll bring Madison Thacker Wolf back to the plate. Had an RBI single in the third. Walked in the fifth.
Madison Thacker Wolf. Up to the plate. She is 1 for 2 on the day, 1 RBI. First pitch called strike from Maggie Furr.
Good job by Furr to get that first pitch in there for a strike, get ahead in the count.
That's going to be hit right at second. And runner is safe at first. Runner's in the corner. Barteris decided to stay at third.
There's a great play by Ava Moon over at second. Had the range to her right. Backhanded throw to first, not in time. So the infield single for Wolf puts runners at the corners for Johnson.
Hit number 12 for the Royals. And that's going to be hit over the second base head. Johnson will bring in a run. That will be a run rule victory. They are advancing to the championship tomorrow. 1 o'clock.
Just a great performance by Johnson today. 13 hits on the day. Get the 8-0 win over Brenau. And the Royals move into the championship round in a dominating performance here this afternoon in Kingsport.
Absolutely. And for Brenau, I think this was the first time we've seen their offense really be halted. They did get some hits, just really couldn't drive in those runs. But also, for me, the one player that stood out in the defensive side, obviously I think defensively everybody was solid, but you know who I'm about to say in the circle.
I know who exactly you're going to say.
Lindy Weber.
Lindy Weber, just an outstanding performance. And Brenau is the type of team, you know, when you look at the top 5 players in their lineup in the batting order, Dayton Power, Ava Moon, Whitney Halsey, Allie McGee, and Peyton Hawkins, 4 of those ladies are first-team all-conference. Between those 5 players today, you had 1 hit. And with the speed and athleticism that Brenau has, if you can keep Power, Moon, Halsey, McGee, and Hawkins off the bases, that's a recipe for success. And Lindy Weber pitched the gym in the circle today and did just that.
Now, offensively, player that stood out, Megan Armstrong. I mean, 4 for 4 on the day. 1 run scored, 4 RBI. I mean, what she did today was electrifying.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, electrifying indeed, especially with that 2-run home run back in the 5th inning. And you sort of had a feeling when that one flew over the Visit Kingsport sign that Johnson was well in control and more than likely would go on to win the ball game. But they didn't only go on and win it, they ended it early with an 8-0 victory over the Brenau Golden Tigers. And Johnson moves to a very familiar place for them, the championship round here at the AAC Conference Softball Tournament.
Now with that, Brenau will advance to the 11 o'clock game tomorrow morning. They will face the winner of the next game, which that next game is going to be Reinhardt and Tennessee Westland. If you want to see how that is going to go, tune in on Southeast Sports Network, and we will see how that will go. Eagles and Bulldogs up next here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Deshaun Bullock, Jeff Campbell signing off for Game 3 of the day.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shry Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shry Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.